This find out season has been especially volatile. And all of these skeletons that are tumbling out of the closet, man, this has been wild. At this point is who's going to be next? Who's going to be the next person to get sued? Right now we're on The Dream. The Dream R&B star and Beyonce songwriter is accused of rape. So it looks like the Dream changed his name, and I will be calling him the Dream everywhere that his name, his actual name, is posted. So just know that. All right. Songwriter and producer, The Dream, a longtime hitmaker and collaborator of artists, including Beyonce and Rihanna, was accused Tuesday of rape, physical assault, and psychological manipulation by a former protege. The woman, Shanez Mangro, filed the suit in Los Angeles District Court against The Dream, as well as the record label Epic Records and a company co owned by The Dream called Contra Paris LLC. In the suit, Mango alleges that The Dream made extravagant promises to help jumpstart her music career, telling her he would make her the next Beyonce and Rihanna. Instead, she alleges he raped her, strangled her, and psychologically manipulated her, including allegedly making a video of an sexual encounter and threatening to show it to other people. Representatives of The Dream and Epic Records did not immediately return NPR's request for comment, but a statement was provided to the New York Times denying the allegations. Mangro, who was born and began her career in the Netherlands and has used the professional name Shanae Monroe, alleges that an associate of The Dream first reached out to her in late 2014 after learning of her on Instagram and made arrangements for her to meet The Dream in Atlanta in January 2015. At the time, The Dream and his creative partner, Christopher Tricky Stewart, had already become well known producers and songwriters whose collaborators included Beyonce, Rihanna, Britney Spears, Mariah Carey, and Justin Bieber. In all, The Dream has won 8 Grammys and earned 21 nominations. Mangro alleges that The Dream almost immediately began pressuring her for sex after meeting her, saying that that was part of the process. Within days of their first meeting, she alleges in the suit, he locked her in a dark room at a house with a recording studio where he would only stop aggressively having sex with her once she said that she loved him. Over the course of several following months, the suit alleges that The Dream led her into an abusive, violent, and manipulative relationship filled with physical assaults, violent sexual encounters, and horrific psychological manipulation. According to Mangro, The Dream frequently forced her into violent sex, refused to wear a condom, and demanded that she engage in sexual acts in public against her will, forced her to drink alcohol excessively by roughly pulling her head back by her hair and pouring alcohol down her throat, and on multiple occasions strangled her during intimate encounters so intensely that she almost lost consciousness. She also alleges that on one occasion he raped her in the back of a van. Mangrove's suit cites California's SA and Cover Up Accountability Act, which allows people to file suits on SA accusations even if the statutes of limitations has expired on the alleged incidents. In a written statement sent to NPR on Tuesday by one of her attorneys, Douglas Wigdor, Mangrove said, "Choosing to speak out about the trauma I survived has been one of the most difficult decisions of my life, but ultimately, what Dream did to me made it impossible to live the life I envisioned for myself and pursue my goals as a singer and songwriter. Ultimately, my silence has become too painful, and I realize that I need to tell my story to heal. I hope that doing so will help others and prevent future horrific abuse." Whew, that was a whole lot. You know, what is going on with all of this coming to light is so important because for too long there has been no accountability for these people who have been able to dangle a few trinkets and carrots and possible stardom and harm women like this. And let's not act like that hasn't been a thing. The casting couch has not been a thing in Hollywood, in all of the songwriting atmosphere. This has been a thing. So let's not act like any of these people are above reproach. Like this is not possible. Like, it's just like way too wild. Let's not act like that. Anyways, I do want to know who's going to be the next person that gets outed, and how many people will tumble this year. Jump in the comments, give me your theories. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. So Kanye is next up being sued, and I highly doubt anyone is just like, no, he is innocent, because we have seen a lot of the shenanigans that he is doing, and we're seeing how he is parading his current wife around. So he definitely has the proclivity to be to have done some of the things he's being accused of. We see that. But let's get into this article. It says Kanye slams baseless sexual harassment allegations detailed in ex-assistive's lawsuit. Embattled rapper Kanye West, whose Donda Academy was sued in April for workplace abuses, is facing a slew of disturbing new allegations. This time the lawsuit comes from a woman claiming she was his personal assistant. Lauren Pisciotti, an Instagram and OF model, said she worked for the rapper 46 from July 2021 to October 2022. She alleges she was subjected to multiple forms of sexual harassment and fleeced out of a promised $4 million salary for her work on various Yeezy brands, according to the legal documents reviewed by The Times. The lawsuit filed Monday by Pisciotti's attorney in LA County Superior Court accuses his businesses of wrongful termination, gender discrimination, fraud, and intentional infliction of emotional and physical stress, among other misconduct. A legal representative for West told The Times in a statement that the rapper intends to file a counterclaim against Pisciotti over her baseless allegations. The rep also accused Pisciotti of coercion, blackmail, and extortion. Pisciotti's attorney did not respond immediately to The Times' request for comment. The complaint describes Pisciotti, 35, as a music industry veteran with more than 15 years of experience in management, A&R, and marketing, before accepting a $1 million annual salary to be Ye's full-time personal assistant in July 2021. She worked with the rapper on his Yeezy clothing line and 2021 album Donda. Her lawsuit accuses Ye of self-pleasuring in front of the plaintiff and oversharing intimate sexual details, photos and videos of sex acts, some of which allegedly involved Instagram models and current and former Yeezy LLC employees and various men and women. In November 2022, a Rolling Stone report details similar allegations that the Grammy winner had played corn to Yeezy staff in meetings. If this is what she's accusing her of, and there are multiple employees involved, it sounds like there could be some witnesses. This could be volatile. Several pages of the lawsuit also detailed the sexual memes, photos of naked models, videos of women performing oral on Ye, and videos of his sexual encounters that the rapper allegedly sent to Pisciotti. If there are messages, this is very damning, and he knows if he sent messages or not. What the heck? The Instagram model also alleges Ye propositioned her for sex multiple times during her tenure. She denied his advances, would self-pleasure during phone conversations she thought were business calls, and was particularly fixated on the size of his peen, of the size of her peen of her current and past romantic partners. That's very, very weird. The suit says Pisciotti did not welcome or encourage Ye's offensive, demeaning, embarrassing, and abuse behavior, and was focused on carrying out her duties as a personal assistant in a manner as professional as possible. The later portion of Pisciotti's lawsuit alleges that the employees of Ye's Yeezy brands listed as co-defendants engaged in a systematic, severe, and persuasive and offensive campaign of unlawful harassment based on Pisciotti's sex, including sexual harassment. West's personal assistant in 2022, Pisciotti was offered a promotion to Yeezy's chief of staff, the lawsuit says. With that change in title also came the promise of a $3 million raise, bringing Pisciotti's total annual salary to $4 million. After accepting the offer, Pisciotti was told in October 2022 that she would receive the $3 million raise in a lump sum, but the defendant, however, did not pay as promised. After multiple attempts to collect, she alleges. In late October, West and his business fired Pisciotti. A reason was not disclosed in the lawsuit, and she was offered $3 million in severance. Then they allegedly reneged on their commitment to pay the severance. After she parted ways with the Yeezy brands, Pisciotti said West's obsession with her persisted, and she alleged he moved into the building where she lived. Shortly after her termination, Pisciotti returned to West and his businesses to provide additional services, again with the prospect of getting paid, but allegedly never received payment. Okay, that's weird. As a result of defendant's breach of agreements, plaintiff has been damaged in the sum of at least $4 million. Pisciotti alleges that because of West and his business retaliation, she suffered and continues to suffer damages in the form of lost wages and employment benefits and emotional and physical distress. The lawsuit said Pisciotti filed a complaint last week with California's Civil Rights Department accusing Yeezy Brands of discrimination, harassment, retaliation, and other employment violations. She is seeking an unspecified amount of damages, legal fees, and such other and further relief the court may deem proper. The statement from West's legal representative also accused Pisciotti of stealing the rapper's phone to destroy phone records in order to benefit her claims, and said she was terminated for being unqualified, demanding unreasonable sums of money, including the $4 million annual salary, and numerous documented incidents of her lascivious and unhinged conduct. The rapper also accused Pisciotti of sending Ye unsolicited nude images as sexual coercion to demand material items, including a luxury bag and a Lamborghini. I'm unsure how sending nudes is a way to demand luxury items. I don't get that part. Okay. I don't know. Y'all let me know what you think. I totally believe that this is within the realm of something that Kanye is, yeah, he's capable of doing this. We have seen his behavior become more unhinged as the years have gone by. And so I totally believe that he is able to have pulled all of this off. But I want to know what you guys think. Jump in the comments. Let me know. Like, comment, and share. Violence against women is a global issue that we need to be talking about. So we're going to talk about this now out of England and Wales. The Met chief says millions of men are a danger to women and girls in England and Wales. Let's talk about this article. All right, so this is from The Guardian. It says millions of men in England and Wales pose a danger to women and children, the commissioner of the Metropolitan Police has said. Sir Mark Rowley said the figures were eye-watering and an inconvenient truth, as he called for a much bigger effort, a national strategy, and more money to tackle the problem. He relied on an upcoming study produced for police chiefs nationally that says there are up to 4 million perpetrators of violence against women and children who are mainly men, with 1 in 10 people being victims who are mainly women and children. Rowley, who is Britain's most senior police officer, said the scale of the offending by men against women and children was beyond the criminal justice system to tackle. He told the London Policing Board, when you look across the violence against women and children, there are millions of offenders in the UK. Some of the numbers are eye-watering. The scale of this is way beyond policing and the justice system, and we need a frank conversation about it that looks at prevention work, protective work, as well as enforcement work. This is largely men offending on women and children. You've got millions of men in the country who pose a risk to women and children at some level and requires a whole step up in approach. The London Policing Board was set up to oversee reform of the Met after a series of scandals and revelations about the scale and severity of attacks by its officers against women. Among them was the use by Wayne Couzens of his police powers to pluck Sarah Everard off the London street before he raped and unalived her. The Met's reputation was rocked further when it revealed that David Carrick had become one of the worst sex offenders, using his status as a Met officer to intimidate a string of women victims into silence. In both cases, the Met missed chances to identify both men as a danger to women while they were still serving. Rowley, commissioner since 2022, September 2022, said the Met had improved its charging for grape, but said the scale of violence against women and girls was daunting. The figure of 4 million, mainly male, offenders comes from research to be published later this year that was commissioned by the National Police Chiefs Council. It was discussed recently at the government's National Policing Board. Rowley, in his written report ahead of Tuesday's meeting, said National Police Chiefs Council, NPCC, analysis at the recent National Policing Board suggests that 1 in 10 people in England and Wales are a victim of violence against women and girls, with around 4 million, approximately 1 in 15 people being perps. Other data show that 800,000 women a year are SA'd. There are 1 million DV reports a year, and National Crime Agency estimates that 750,000 adults have an sexual interest in children. The Met's own figures show that 10% of the 999 calls to them relate to domestic abuse and is responsible for 30% of all violence with injury and about 50% of violence suffered by women. About 30% of rape and sexual offenses take place within abusive relationships. Rowley says it's a bit of an inconvenient truth about how big this problem is. If we are really nationally and in London have the scale of response that the threat to women and children from predatory men deserves, it will need a massively upscaled approach across multiple agencies. It's great that we in the Met, in our corner of the system, are improving and doing better. But those iterative improvements are nowhere near what the size of the problem requires. Rowley accepted crimes such as sexual violence were underreported, and that a national strategy to reduce offending with multi agency prevention and protection measures was needed and currently lacking. The Met Commissioner also claimed lack of money and inability to recruit enough officers meant reforms to the embattled force would be slower than needed. He said that by 2025 through 26, the Met faced a budget shortfall of £400 million and claimed that government reimbursed the Met for only £20 million of the £70 million cost of protests, the main protests being those triggered by the Gaza conflict after the attack on Israel last October. Okay. He said that the reduced resource and available workforce meant that reform will be limited and partial than the scale of reform that they needed. Sorry, I got a little flustered right there towards the end where it says those triggered by the Gaza conflict after the attack on Israel, when we know and understand that something a little bit different is probably happening. But so it got me a little tongue tied there. I am glad that they are acknowledging this as a problem that needs to be tackled. It's wild that so many people are allowed to hunt and use their professions as hunting grounds. But, it takes the acknowledgement of the problem before it can be solved. And they have taken the first steps. Y'all let me know what you think about this one.